So I just accidentally pressed stop on the video I was working on up through here. So you can go back and watch the other one. I'm just going to go ahead and link both of those videos. And so they're separate. I'm not going to redo the same thing again. Okay, so the second one we're looking at is 3/4 plus x over 2 equals 9/4. And we are going to now do the same operations of what we did up here. And we're going to think through this. It says step 1. I'm going to make this the same colors. Subtract what? Well, I need to subtract the 3/4 because I'm trying to get x by itself. So subtract 3/4 to each side to cancel out the 3/4, right? So I'm going to draw a line down here, and I'm going to subtract out 3/4. And then I'm going to subtract out 3/4 on this side. I'm trying to get x by itself, so I've got to get rid of that 3/4 there. When I do that, this cancels out, and I'm left with x over 2, because that's all I have here, equals, well, what's 9 minus 3 is 6/4. Okay, so x over 2 equals 6/4. Step 2 says divide by what to cancel out the what? Well, I need to divide by, what is this? This is already a divide by. And so what number goes up here with the x is an invisible 1. Right here. That's 1/2. So I can rewrite this as 1/2 x equals 6/4 because that looks a little more comfortable. And so when I say divide by, then we're going to divide by 1/2 to cancel out the 1/2 of an x. So we're going to divide by 1/2. It's the same thing as multiplying by 2. So 1/2 divided by 1/2 is gone. I'm just going to bring my work up here. I'm left with x. 6/4 divided by 1/2. So let's write that out. 6/4 divided by 1/2 makes more sense when we draw it like this. And then we know 6/4 is the same thing as multiplying by 2 over 1. And so as I do this, I get 12 over 4. And so then simplifying that down, 12 over 4, that equals 3 over 1, which equals 3. So when I did that, x equals 3. Okay, that was step 2. This entire thing right here is step 2, working through that. Okay, so x is 3 is what we're saying. So now we're going to check our solution. So I've got 3/4 plus x, well I'm calling x 3 over 2 equals 9 over 4. And so I'm going to put the 3 in for x. And it's substituted in right there. And so then I'm going to figure out, does this make sense? Well, I've got to get my denominators the same. So I'm going to take this fraction and I'm scaling it up. So that becomes 6/4. And so that should equal 9/4 as I add them together. 6 plus 3 equals 9, and I still have 4. And this is the check. And it's a true statement. It worked. So therefore, it is right. Okay. Looking at the third one. Step 1 says simplify by. What do we need to do to simplify this? We can't even start solving this until we start simplifying it. Simplify by distributing the 5 by distributing the 5. So what that looks like is 5 times 4 is 20 minus 5x equals 70. Step 2 says something to each side to cancel out that something. Okay, that something is, I'm trying to get x by itself, I'm going to subtract 20 to each side to cancel out the 20. Here's the 20. I'm going to subtract off that 20. Okay, 20 minus 20 cancels it out. I'm left with, and here's where we need to be careful, negative 5x. I'm not just left with 5x, I'm left with negative 5x, and that equals 50. I'm losing some colors here. I'm going to make step 1 blue. That was this distributing that was that piece. Step 2 was subtracting out that 20. 3. Something to each side to cancel out the something. And so what is that something? I've got to divide by negative 5 to cancel out the negative 5. That's because it's multiplying. It's negative 5 times x. So to cancel it out, I've got to divide by it. Cancels that out. And so I'm left with x equals 50 divided by negative 5 gives us negative 10. So we're saying our solution is negative 10. Now we're going to check that solution. So we're going to check this solution here in this placement right there. So we're saying 5 times 4 minus, this is where things could get tricky, x is negative 10. So this is minus negative 10. Don't interpret that as your negative part of there, because that's outside the x there. Equals 70. And so when I do that, minusing a negative is like adding. So 10 plus 4 is 14 times 5 is 70. So it is a true statement. And so what I did was I substituted in that negative 10 for that x right there. Okay. Next one. Simplify by, looking at this, combining like terms. That's what we're going to do first. I'm going to circle things that do not have x with them, including the sign. I can simplify that. I've got 2 1/4. I'm going to square the things that do have x. At 4, I'm going to take away half of an x, so I have plus 3 1/2 x. And that equals 16 1/4. So I just simplified that. Okay, so I just combined my like terms. Step 2, something to each side to cancel out the something. Well, what do we need to cancel out? We're trying to get x by itself, so we need to get rid of the 2 1/4. So I'm going to subtract 2 1/4 to cancel out the 2 1/4. Subtract the 2 1/4. Subtract the 2 1/4. Cancels that out. There's that step. And so you end up with 3 1/2 x equals, well, 1/4 minus 1/4 is gone, so 16 minus 2 is 14. Okay, in step 3, I need to divide by the number that's with the x. I need to divide 3 1/2. Divide by 3 1/2 each side to cancel out the 3 1/2. Divide by 3 1/2. Divide by 3 1/2. Cancels that out, and I'm left with x. And I'm going to do this using a calculator here, or you could do it by writing it on here, but thinking about this as dividing it by, I got 14, and I'm going to divide it by 3.5, and I'm going to end up with 4. So x equals 4. Where's my colors? Okay, so step 3 was our divide by 3 1/2. And so now we're going to check. X needs to be 4. Step 4, check. We're saying x is 4. So that means I can go back here and I can write 1 1/4 plus 4 times 4. Right? There's the x. There's the 4. Plus 2 minus 1/2 times 4. And that's going to equal 16 1/4. And when you do it, it does equal 16 1/4. So we checked it and it's correct. Remember, you have to actually do that though. You're doing that operation. That 4 times 4 is that 16. And you're doing the whole operation to come up with that. Yes, in fact, you do equal 16 1/4.